Hey, welcome back to the Game Audio Hour. We're a weekly podcast, or well, let's stick with that. We are a weekly podcast where we discuss all things game audio, from creative ideas to the latest techniques, project experiences to audio secrets. Here is where you'll find in-depth coverage and opinions related to game audio. It's been a while, but that's okay. Better late than never. And hey, it's our first show of 2019. Let's start it off with a bang and with Chase. How's it going?
Good, good, good. Hanging in there like hangers. How you doing, Vince?
Oh, I am not bad. It's been a really tough last few months. I guess it's been really tough for all of us here at Game Audio Hour because we haven't broadcast in a few months now. I'm still going crazy with work, but hey, at least this is the first Friday in a while where I can kind of treat it like a Friday. I can relax a bit at the end of the workday.
Hey, that's great. Got to get some good food in you at the end of the day and play a little Overwatch with the wifey, yeah?
Yeah, maybe that. I hear a lot of... I still haven't tried the new character, Baptiste. Everyone's talking about how Baptiste is possibly going to be changing the meta for Overwatch for the better, hopefully. Who knows?
I have never played, so I would not know. Everyone's talking about Anthem right now, and a week ago they were talking about Apex Legends. So I am behind, but I am not a shooter fan, so therefore I digress.
It's cool. It's really crazy just how quickly the game world changes. So many things. I mean, you mentioned Apex Legends. That came out just way out of left field and hit everyone straight upside the head and said, listen to me.
Yeah.
This is a cool new game. I have watched it on Twitch. I still haven't actually played it, but holy wow. Game world is crazy. Game world is crazy. What an industry we work in.
It is. You know what other world is crazy is the music world.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely crazy. That doesn't move quite as quickly as games. I do think, but it's still pretty awesome and fun to check out what's going on in the music world.
True, true, true. Speaking of that, did you actually go to NAMM?
I did. I checked it out for, I guess, 1.5 days. So
okay.
Was able to make some time on a weekday as well as hang out there on Saturday and check out the various wares, a little bit of hardware, a little bit of software, a little bit of meeting up with friends and seeing what they are into. Well, were you at NAMM?
Yeah, I was. I only got to go one day. So I went on Thursday and it was very interesting, to say the least. At least getting up there. I'll tell you now, if you live in Los Angeles, your commute, if you leave anytime after 7, is death to you and your wheels.
Oh, man.
And then parking up there, because you have to consider that it's in the Anaheim area, so actually very close to Disneyland, and within that municipal, there is a lot going on when you bring in, I don't know, like maybe 1/3 of all the musicians in the United States or across the world, which is a lot. So yeah, traffic was bad, parking was bad, but once you're in, it was like super smooth. In fact, I parked and saw this huge line that was in the street, and I thought that I would just have to stay in the line, but I read the instructions on the email, and I was like, I'm not going to stand in this line. So I end up walking past the entire line, going into the Marriott, which is linked to the convention center. I think it's not, but maybe 100 feet away, if that, or less, and got approached by one of the managers of the hotel and was like, excuse me, sir, can I help you? And I was like, oh, I'm here to check in for the NAMM show. And he was like, oh, I don't think we're, doing it. I was like, oh, it says on this instructions here that these are one of the check-in spots. He figured out the information, walked me down to the area of where the check-ins might be. And I walked down this hall and everyone was just kind of, talking amongst each other. And things like that. And I didn't see any signs that said check-in until I walked to the end of the hall and I saw this little tiny kiosk, and it just happened to peek over. It was this lady sitting there and had the badge and the lanyards. And I was like, oh, do I check in here? She's like, yeah, what's your name? And that was it. And I got my badge. There was no line. There was no wait. There was nothing.
Oh, wow. That's a great secret for next time. I waited in a line, but now I have to remember that I should go to the hotel and figure that out, because it sounds like you got it right.
I was ecstatic. I was in there like swimwear. It was the best.
Oh, man. Wow. So that's a cool thing. Did any other cool experiences happen to you at NAMM?
Let's see what else. Oh yeah, so I've been practicing a piece from Yasunori Mitsuda, who scored multiple video games it's known for, but mostly Xenogears and Chrono Trigger. And so I've been practicing the wind theme and doing my own spin on it, uploading YouTube videos and such. And so before I did the video, I was sitting at the Yamaha. I went to the Yamaha booth first. I went to check out some of their keyboards and things like that. And I went to the pianos and I played on every piano that I could over there. And it turned out where I was being videotaped without me knowing. I was just practicing different pieces. And then this one videographer came and he's like, hey, is that Chrono Trigger? And I was like, oh my God, like somebody knew what it was. Like that theme is popular, but it's not that popular maybe at that type of show. And he was like, oh man, that's really good, like how you're playing it. And like, damn, others like, oh, there's coming out with another Chrono Trigger type of game. And it's like, oh, they are. We start talking to each other about that. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And then I continued to play, and then I walked away, and then I started seeing all the cool synths that are going on. Like, you heard of the MOD X and the Montage?
Yes. Yeah.
And you know how super great they are, right? Like this is the 2020 of synth Yamaha legacy.
It's perhaps too cool for me. I'm trying to I'm not sure how I'm going to use it, but I'm looking at that and I think, okay, this is cool. I kind of want it. There's a lot of things there that besides Yamaha, there's a lot of things that I look at and think, oh, I kind of want that. But that's typically the way it is at NAMM, right?
Yeah, that's true. There is a lot of wants and not a lot of money.
Yeah. But wow, Yamaha in particular, they've been doing a whole lot of stuff. Like, I think one thing that I was kind of surprised by is, but maybe I shouldn't have been, is how they're putting all their trans acoustic stuff on all their acoustic instruments. So I remember before, like, oh yeah, they got their trans acoustic thing for doing electronic triggering with their acoustic upright pianos and acoustic grand pianos and all that. And now they're doing that on all their guitars, and they're going trans acoustic on everything.
Yeah.
So that's kind of neat. And well, and then we're totally forgetting that Yamaha is also Steinberg. And
yes.
Yeah. I mean, did you check out the Steinberg room over there?
I did, actually, and that's one thing that you just reminded me of something else that I wanted to speak about. I became enamored with their new audio interface they have that was launched. Give me just a moment while I pull that up. It is.
Wait, is that the AXR?
Yes.
Yes, the AXR4. Yes.
Yeah, I was looking at the AXR 16, I believe. And that is very, very sexy because it has Neve, and some Neve things on there. You can even see like the Neve signature on it. And I think it was an XR4T, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar. So you saw it too then? Yeah,
that is a high-end interface, again with a high-end price.
Yeah.
Over $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
Again, one of those
so pretty
wants. I'm not sure I need. Honestly, those Steinberg and other Yamaha interfaces have always done a really good job with their preamps.
Yeah,
and these ones have the Neve preamps. But even before that, like you go to some of the lower end Yamaha mixer type interfaces, and the preamps on those things are actually really good too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they launched it at NAMM that day it was announced, and I was learning about it by one of the reps there, and they had a couple different reps doing some demos, some on Duraco, some on Cubase, and other things. And so that is pretty comprehensive and pretty darn powerful. It actually loads up when you, like, Cubase recognizes it automatically and syncs it in lock with whatever else you need to use with that interface. So it's super copacetic, it's super efficient, and the workflow is extremely nice. They've got a nice systematic type of thing going on with this interface. So even though it's kind of pricey, I think it's about somewhere, I want to say $2,500, I think 26, 27.
Oh, you're getting up there. I'm looking at this listing on B&H for $2,800.
2,800, yeah. I was gonna say 28. I was like, I think there was a discount at the time, so it was like around $2,600, like when they had it for like a couple, like 5 days or something. This is a pretty nice discount, but like, again, the preamps, and I'm in the market for a preamp, so I was looking around for some things, and definitely was interested, but I'm not sure if it's going to be for that much. Might wait for a nice Black Friday deal. I don't know how long the preamp is going to last for me, because I'm going to have to do an overhaul of my system fairly soon.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I got to admit that, just going off the NAMM subject for a bit, there's a whole lot of preamps that you could get if you're in the market for something that is 4 digits. You know, so I mean, there's I mean, you know, obviously you go to the forums and there's like, hey, you know, spend $100 on this relatively cheap preamp, $200, $300. Oh, you want a nice preamp? Okay, $1,000 starts getting you into really nice preamp territory.
Yeah.
I don't have any $1,000 preamps, I got to admit. Like right now, I'm using this. I got a really nice preamp here that cost me $500. Like, ooh. And I'm actually kind of scared to jump up to the next price bracket, because I know that that means some more money is going to be flying out of my wallet.
But that production and the competitive structure and finesse that you'll be putting towards is going to be rewarded in the end, is it not?
I think so. I mean, it's all part of a chain, though. I think that's one of the things that NAMM actually reminds me of, is that everything connects to everything else. So I think I could see getting $1,000+ preamp once I get to the point where I'm also using $1,000+ set of microphones to record my, you know, let's say I have a proper grand piano here in my house. You know, hey,
Sure.
that's $10,000 for a grand piano. And if you have a grand piano, you want to record that thing properly, you know? And so everything is that chain. And at NAMM, I definitely had some fun checking out some of the nicer grand pianos and looking at the nicer microphones and looking at the nicer monitoring. Although it is actually really cool seeing some of the nice stuff that's happening on the low end for monitoring. You know, I think one of the big things that people are doing over the whole industry is moving to active monitoring with Class D amplifiers. So that it's that whole thing of, we're going to have basically a DAC in our speakers. Yeah. And once you have a DAC in your speakers, then you're going to have DSP there in the speakers.
Oh no!
And then, wow! Now you've got DSP there that is accommodating for what used to be problems, issues with the cost of manufacturing. And now you've got speakers that are cheap, you know, things that are affordable, like in the hundreds of dollar range, as opposed to thousands of dollar range, that can legit say that they have flat response. And so I was checking out IK Multimedia.
Yes.
And IK, a couple years back, they were pushing their iLoud speakers, which are these, you know, 3-inch micro monitors, and they were experimenting with that. Okay, it's a small, cheap speaker, but we've got this DSP in here, and we can accommodate for the limitations of the design of the speaker. Now they're doing it with a slightly upgraded model, the MTM. So it's actually got the 3 drivers. It's got the 2 woofers and the 1 tweeter. But again, they're doing the DSP in there. And they're saying that this small monitor can give you flat response starting at 40 hertz all the way up to the high end.
Wow.
And that is awesome. That is just really cool. I think that sort of stuff is going to be a real game changer for a lot of people. Not just the high end guys, but the people that want to do project studios. They're looking for, I want good speakers and I want to be able to monitor accurately. They're going to be looking at that, and other companies are going to try to copy that as well, I think.
No, that's true. And the price point, I mean, even before the new model came out, those for the pair with 300. Yeah, usually for, something like your standard HS ADMs or your KRKs or your JBLs, 308s or whatnot, like you're looking at least 300 per monitor speaker.
Yeah.
So that's, and so like you said, with that processing power behind that and the quality, like when I was working at Sam Ash, like the ceiling floor was to the floor, and the depth of, verticality was extremely high, but people who walked, I mean, it covered a lot of range in terms of sound. And that thing is life. That thing is breathing. You can feel it. You can hear it. It is great. And I've had when I was working there, like customers come in and test out their tracks and such on there, and it had Bluetooth, so it was easy to just link up to and then just walk away. You can hear it. It's amazing. It's super great quality.
Yeah, it's nice. It's great to see this sort of technology trickling down and affordable. It's still a few $100, but compared to 2 years ago, this is the stuff of the $1,000 plus range.
Yeah.
And now it's affordable and it's good, and it's going to be another part of that whole chain where people can point to and be like, yeah, this is not a limitation. Like that will free me up to work on my whole other part of my production process. I don't have to worry about that.
Right. And it's so mobile too. Like people, you see more and more as the Macs get more powerful with their laptops, their production and all post-production and things are happening more with mobile rigs. And just like someone else had told me, a colleague of mine is like, yeah, you just hook it up. You're in a hotel. You got to get some work done. They're gonna set you up nice. They're going to put you in a nice perspective. And just to add to that, I remember reading a couple magazines for the NAMM pre-show, and I think it was a post-show, and they were those monitors, not the new model, but the old ones at least. Maybe the new model was also mentioned, but I know for sure they were mentioned in the old pre-show for the old model and stuff. So something to look out for. But in the new phone, I know that they won the award. They won an award for best in show for amongst one of the products that they had. So this is not hype. This is not hyperbolic. This is facts, and this is good stuff. Hearing is believing.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else that you saw at NAMM that really got you?
I saw some stuff at the ILIO booth that was actually pretty cool. They have these string models. I think it was I don't want to speak here. I'm just going to look it up really quickly. I think it was the AAS Studio sample modeling they had going on. Yeah, this was very nice. I really got a chance to dig into this stuff. The guys there are amazing. They were doing raffles for most of the products that they had going on. I think it's a String Studio VS-3. And yeah, the AAS. This is something to definitely look into. This is probably going to be in my workflow extremely soon. And I'm very excited about that because it was just incredible.
Yeah. I've actually been a pretty big fan of theirs for a while. Yeah. I haven't tried the new String Studio. I have the old one, and I always thought it was pretty good. But recently, they did a pretty big upgrade to all their underlying engine technology. Okay. And one of the first products that they put out that utilized it was Chromophone. And Chromophone 2 is a huge part of my workflow when I'm doing sound effects. It's just so cool to do things like linking up resonators with mallets. And like, okay, let's make this cool impact sound, and it's so cool and so malleable.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that on a previous episode quite a few times before, and definitely as our listeners, there's something to absolutely look into because it's an extremely powerful tool, if I recall, when I was researching it.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, chromophone is a little bit different because it's so focused on percussion, but you can do lots of different things in String Studio, and all the stuff for the new String Studio 3. Those are really cool things.
Yeah,
really cool sounds.
Absolutely. Yeah, that stuff that they've got a lot of great products. I just picked up Ivory 2, which is a piano-based library, and I've been a fan of the Ivory series for, I think it's 10 years actually. I remember when the Ivory was out before, and for the style that was back then. But yeah, I just picked that up, and so I'm excited to record some piano pieces that I have been having dormant for a while, and because I don't have my upright just yet, but just to kind of get the modeling and the ideal out and go forward from there.
Yeah, I kind of feel you on that. I mean, I've been thinking about picking up like a really high-end piano library or synth, but I'm always worried about it just because I like real pianos too much, and that's one of those things that when I'm at NAMM, they have all those things side by side. Even in the grand piano, they have that whole 88 key salon there on one of the floors of NAMM, and so they'll have their super high end synth based or some form of electronic piano there, and then they'll have a real grand piano. You go to one of the manufacturers that actually does their own electronic grand pianos, like Kawai. And so they'll have an electronic upright piano that is pretty expensive, in the $10,000+ range. At which point you might as well get a really nice upright or a lower end grand piano. Yeah. And you can just, okay, I'm going to try this, and then walk over and try out a real upright or a real grand. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
man, I kind of want to just record my own piano, like I was mentioning before. You're like,
that's true. There was some hybrid stuff there too. I don't know if you saw in the Yamaha section, you could just they had like, it was a grand, because I played on the grands and I played on some of their hybrids, whereas you could select different room styles or different modeling that they had. So they had like a Steinway, or they had excuse my ignorance for saying this wrong, it's a Bosendorfer, or a couple other classic Yamaha pianos that they actually had modeled integrated into their line, in the sense for the style, in terms of the hammer action, the sustain, the release, and so on and so forth. And then I think I want to say the company Arturia? No. Artesia. Artesia. I think they're with Casio. I think those two companies are together. And they had some semi-hybrid keyboard piano thing too, whereas in like the feeling of it was modeled after the piano, but the size of it was just like in half of like an upright. So it was, I don't know if you saw that one too, but that was pretty insane.
Those things are actually really cool. I think mostly because the feeling is really there. Like they actually know how to make a really good keyboard key bed. It just feels good to press on those keys the way that it does to feel on your Yamaha or Bechstein or Bosendorfer or Steinway or whatever. So yeah, the feeling is actually a really important part of the music making process.
Yeah.
So they got that down. The sound, though, I mean, it's that whole thing of 99% to 100%, and I guess I've lived with pianos for so long that I really want that last 1%. I miss that last 1%. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
you have a good
it's
point.
also a little tough in some places. Like you were mentioning the Yamaha section. The Yamaha section was busy as heck.
Oh,
So,
really? Oh, you went on Saturday, right? I think.
yes.
Okay.
Oh, what was it? Oh, should I have gone on Thursday instead?
It was, you could play every piano and it would have been fine. You could play every synth and you wouldn't have been waiting in any lines. You wouldn't be rubbing elbows with no one. It was marvelous. And mind you, I got there, like I said, I think I got there an hour later than I wanted to. So around 10 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Then again, I skipped the line. So maybe that's what happened.
Okay. Yeah.
But I mean, I guess I was there. I mean, for the majority of a day, I was there till 7, and it was really extremely open. And no matter where I went, so it was. I knew Saturday was going to be, you know, hell on earth up in the
Yeah.
place.
Saturday was busy. I mean, I knew that it was going to be busy in places. Yamaha has their whole section, like in a whole separate hotel, and it
Yeah,
was still really way too busy for my taste. And then you go to the main floor, and it's just crazy.
yeah.
One thing that I actually liked last year at NAMM was they had a whole separate room where a lot of the smaller software developers were, and it was actually quite easy to hang out with them and chat.
Yeah.
This time around, they didn't have that separate room. Instead, they were dispersed on the edges of the two main floors for NAMM, and I didn't like that as much. I mean, it's just really tough when I'm trying to have a conversation with a dude talking about some cool pitch mapping plugin that he's got, but he's right next to the modular synth garden. It's just tough.
Or there's like the lurking line that happens, and you feel under pressure to kind of maybe get your question out of the way, or or you feel like you're maybe taking up a lot of time of someone else that needs to answer their question, or I don't know. It's always that whole game too.
Yeah.
Or you're waiting, actually. You're probably the one waiting while the other person is chatting for 3 hours about everything underneath the moon. Oh man, that's the best. I have a lot of patience, but sometimes I'm like, okay, is this gonna be an E3 line or for one person, or is this gonna be something else?
Yeah.
But
But it's still good, when you have a chance to talk to some of those people. And
oh yeah, absolutely.
one of the software developers I really like is audio modeling.
Okay.
And I had some fun chatting with them, not just talking about all their cool wares, but also trying to figure out some specific problems that I have for my specific situation. Here I am. I've got my iwi, and not too many people use iwi, so it's tough to get like a specific question answered by people who don't know exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But I'm talking to the guys there, and one of the guys, I think it was Giorgio who I was talking to, is like, oh, wait an hour and come back, because the other guy who's usually at the booth, he does iwi, and he could tell you about how he does like some specific settings and the options. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I do that. I talk to him for a bit, and then suddenly I got some light bulbs right from there about how exactly to set up my settings and change my CC sends in order to do something, stuff that's non-obvious, but he was able to figure it out, and then I was able to figure it out, and it was great. I love when things like that happen.
Yeah, you get that one-on-one interaction, that one-on-one expertise, from the people that really know the ins and outs of the product. Like they live, they breathe, they sleep this stuff. And when you're stuck, in the situations that like you were in and such like that, it's nice to get out of a bind and learn some tips and tricks along with the product that you use for your everyday workflow to make music.
Yeah, it's great.
Any new upgraded iwis that happened this year or anything they might have?
No. Well, I mean, the thing is, even though I say iwi, and iwi is the brand that Akai does for it, Akai doesn't care about the iwi. The iwi is such a small part of their larger their larger music picture. You know, they care much more about MPC stuff. They care much more about their new software initiatives. You know, Roland actually has a new electric wind instrument, though. They're actually addressing stuff on multiple levels. So they have a slightly more expensive Aerophone. So they have the Roland Aerophone, and then they have a slightly cheaper one called the Aerophone Go, which is slightly cheaper. It's slightly smaller. It still has the same basic capability. And Roland is actually updating those things with new firmware. Roland is doing cool stuff. Akai, they haven't upgraded the firmware on this thing for the last 4 years. So whatever. No, not 4 years, 3 years. Whatever.
Oh boy. Yeah, you're right. Roland is doing some really crazy stuff. I really like their Roland FP-30. Have you played on this piano?
Oh yeah, that keyboard, yeah.
That keyboard, yeah. This keyboard is extremely, extremely nice. They have this technology called a supernatural. And what that is they've modeled the aesthetic of the actual piano keys down to a science, like a really microscopic sense of it being as close to a piano key as possible, with the feeling, and not only that, but the velocity measures that go into it. So in comparison, for example, it's when you press on like a normal, like some other keyboard, I don't want to talk about names and such, but if you press on that and you give it the velocity, you have 4 different sample velocity layers. You have like a loud, maybe you have an in-between, you have like a soft, and then I guess mostly what you get. But for the FP-30 that you get is, even if you like barely kind of touch it, you're going to hear that dynamic difference in terms of it, as if you were really playing a actual piano. And that is extremely, extremely powerful, along with the app that they have going on with it too, where it says you can learn piano lessons, practice intervals, anything you record on, like say if you're noodling or sketching out things on the FP-30 and you're like, oh man, that was that cool lick and riff I just did, you could have it recorded through the app and it does a playback for you from what you had recorded on the app through the actual keyboard itself and the monitoring system. It has a lot of powerful features, and that is something that I was extremely excited about and still am excited about.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Roland has always been, they've always been really good with their key beds and their actions. They care a lot, which is surprising considering they're not a piano manufacturer like Yamaha, you know, and you know, Yamaha keyboards are quite good. And obviously they know how to make stuff that feels like their grand piano key beds because they know how to make those. But, you know, Roland doesn't really have that tradition to draw on, yet their supernatural is good. Their key beds are really, really, really good. And like you said, it's different from other manufacturers, other electronics companies, where they will just get one of these off-the-shelf keyboard actions and key beds, you know, like, you know, Fatar, you know, the Italian company. They make a lot of keyboards. They make a lot of the underlying keyboard actions for a lot of keyboard manufacturers. Roland is not like that. So, and it shows.
No, it does. I think they mentioned that they had a technology that had surpassed MIDI. And I can't, the name does not come to me at the mind. I should not be speaking about it probably because I don't remember the name, but it was probably mentioned at NAMM by now, or you can find it on the website. But yeah, I remember talking to a rep there, and he, at the time when he told me NAMM wasn't happening just yet, and he was like, hey, keep this on the low, but I'm not under embargo by any means. And since I can't even remember the name to tell you anyway. And yeah, I thought that was actually like a blow out of the water for me, because I mean, MIDI's been around since the 80s. Everyone is still using it. When they announced, I think, MIDI 2.0
finally
recently.
Just yeah, MIDI 2.0.
But something that Roland's been working on is supposed to be a lot better than that. And I saw some kind of back and forth within the socials specifically Facebook. Whereas in, they were saying, well, is MIDI still kind of needed when we have like TouchOSC now, and other applications that kind of utilize the functions that we're going through in our workflows day-to-day basis now. And they have a good point. I guess it just comes down to what works for, what do you fancy, and how well does it work?
Yeah, MIDI. It's really interesting. There are some times when I actually feel limited by MIDI, but there's a lot of times where I'm just feeling like, oh, MIDI is great. It does exactly what I need to do, and whatnot. And there's a lot of stuff that can still be done because you see all of these software manufacturers that are doing things with NERPins. Hey, we've got NERPins, which means you have 14-bit resolution on these controllers. That's enough, right? And that is enough for a lot of people. I think 14-bit is equivalent to like 16,000 some values, right?
Yeah.
Which is great. That sort of resolution. People don't, like, a human is not physically able to discretely create 16,000 different dynamic levels of a key press on a piano. It's like, bam, that is way too much. And that's still MIDI 1.0 capability there.
Yeah.
Still, I am very interested in what MIDI 2.0 is going to bring to the table. It's still very much up in the air. It's not exactly something for the end consumer yet, but manufacturers are prototyping things. It seems like there's a lot of cool stuff with regard to handshaking between different devices. And I think it might usher in a new era of modularity between external hardware and software. So that's kind of exciting, and I'm interested in seeing what my workflow might be in the future.
Yeah, it's definitely on the curve of pushing the status quo a little bit further and getting people excited or not. We'll just have to see.
Yeah,
we'll just have to see.
Ooh. So let's see. Is there anything else from NAMM that you're thinking about? I'm trying to remember if there's anything else that I really needed to talk about, but I can't remember right now.
Hopefully people if they did go, they played on that huge Ableton-looking live DDR controller thing. That was kind of cool. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, I think I saw that. I didn't try it, though.
It's hard to miss. And then somewhere in between that and then like near the end, Bitwig was there. And they were the day I went, they were being filmed and interviewed and such. And it was so funny because I wanted to check out Bitwig. I've been actually jumping around DAWs quite a bit due to like a setup situation I've been having. But I've been trying Harrison Mix Bus, been trying Studio One with a PreSonus, and I was gonna try Reaper and Bitwig, but within those two, I kind of got by with what I need to kind of get done until my beloved Cubase returns to me. But yeah, so Bitwig was there, that live controller was there. I saw some weird take a photo in the mirror type of thing. Did you see that?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, there was like this flashing mirror things. It made me feel like I was in Snow White. I swear on my life. Like if there was ever a time, and not Disneyland, not Disney World, if there was any other time I felt like I was in a Disney movie, that was actually the moment. And it's ironic because it is kind of close to Disneyland and stuff. But I was at NAMM and this mirror was there, and it has these flashing things like, hey, take a picture, and it like lures you in. And I took this photo, and the camera's on top of this mirror, but these mirrors go for about $3,000 a day or something to rent, and it's like, how damn, like you're not even playing any music.
Oh man.
I mean, for $3,000, you better drop me into Alice in Wonderland and serve me breakfast. That was so yeah, that was some weird thing I saw there. I'm a little upset though. I missed happy hour at Evie. Unfortunately, I met a mermaid I was having lunch and this woman came and talked to me, and then she just chatted me up for like 2.5 hours. And I
Wow.
was like, I need to go. And she's talking about her mermaid life and all kind of cool stuff, and how like I guess like her brother was a really big like rock star, literally like someone extremely famous. And I, I'm I'm like, cool, yeah, that's awesome. I'd like to go to happy hour.
Oh
So
man,
I
yeah,
I
that's too bad.
that happened. And also something randomly happened. Someone I went to high school with, I ran into when I was in ninth grade, and we recognized each other, and like instantly it was like, hey, what's going on? Like, and it's just catching up and seeing what she's been up to. And she's like, I've been trying to reach out to you and remember you, but she couldn't remember my name. So that was one of the bigger problems. And it's ironic because I actually saw her in a video that a friend sent me that he was in a month before. So that was kind of crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. But
Neat.
those are NAMM adventures on a Thursday for you.
Wow.
Knock it
Okay.
off with some Roscoe's at the end of the day.
More adventures than me, you know. So I guess the lesson for me is go on Thursday. Gotcha.
Go on Thursday, but take the train.
Take the train.
That's it. I'm not sure where you're at now in terms of location, but
I
like
could
from
bikes there, honestly. I live in Orange County now. So
I envy you.
like honestly, I should have biked there after how long it took me to try to find parking.
How long did it take?
Too long. I mean, it took me, I think, 30 minutes.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say 2 hours.
No, but no, instead it was like, okay, I'm gonna I'm kind of a cheapskate. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get cheap parking. So I'm gonna go out 30 minutes and then I'm gonna walk another 30 minutes in order to actually get to NAMM. Like, okay, cool. This works. But I could have just biked there.
That would have been the ultimate.
That would have been fun. I would get
Yeah.
my exercise too. I mean, I get enough exercise walking around the conference though.
That's true. It is. Whew,
10,000 steps in easy.
yeah, I never made it to upstairs. I never made it to downstairs. I just made it to the floor one. Oh, there was this awesome band. I think we talked that day. I was telling you about it, but they just yes, there's other bands there, but this band was not booked, like meaning they were not on the stage. They were literally playing outside of the doors that people would exit from, to and fro from the conference and such. Just this horn band, this horn section band that's, a couple of trombones, a tuba, 3 trumpets and such, and they were jamming. And then they would stop playing and they'd stomp and they'd yell their songs, and they had it going on. I think I got a bit of the performance on my Twitter. You'd have to go a little bit back to kind of catch it, but I think I captured like a part of it.
Cool.
They were jamming. It was fun. That was cool. I like stuff like that.
Nice.
Grassroots playing. Grassroots jam. That's what it is.
GDC Nice will play in the League One on Sunday
What?
at 6 a.m. at home against RC.
Alexa, stop.
Did I activate something?
I think you did. I don't. Why are you listening to this guy? Oh, Alexa.
Gary, I need to.
No, Alexa, no, don't listen to me. Stop.
Yeah.
Right.
It's actually funny because I was thinking about a cool topic for the next show about workflow with assistants, and I'm getting closer to pushing mine. I have a mini. I gotta be careful because I don't want mine to go off.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. Let's try to get back on track. Maybe we should move on from NAMM to something else. What's on the future?
Let's see. GDC is right around the corner, right?
Right. GDC.
It is officially March 1st. White rabbit to you, for those who like that stuff, and best of the good positives for the month to go forward with. But yeah, GDC 2019. We're in. I'm going on the 18th. Are you going this year?
I am not going.
Okay. Then you know about not GDC though.
Do I know about not GDC?
Hashtag not GDC. That's what's going on. during the week of GDC. So for those of you such as you, Vince, who are not going, this is a website that have informative talks by people who have either gone there before to GDC or have not, and you can learn stuff just like you would learn stuff at GDC. I guess the only difference is, I mean, you're not going to meet people, maybe, or maybe they might have a TeamSpeak chat room set up. They might have a Slack or a Discord set up, which would be actually amazing.
It seems like people are pushing this not GDC Discord.
That'd be insane. I mean, like, talk about setups and networking online with not spending $700 or $1,000 or $2,000 or whatever your overhead cost is to go if you're a freelance. If you're on company, I'm sure you're getting kicked down. But yeah, you should check it out if you haven't already.
Yeah, I am looking at it right now. I was actually familiar with something that's happening a little bit further in the future, but this rather well-known indie developer, Rami Ismail, he is putting out something called Game Dev World, which is a free online conference where people are doing various talks online and people can check these things out. This is a little bit further out. It's in June.
Yeah, I've signed up for that.
Yeah, this seems pretty cool. I mean, they've already got a whole bunch of talks from lots of people, and the emphasis is really on the diversity of people and where they're coming from. Like, okay, guy from Denmark, guy from Netherlands, guy from South Africa, guy from Iran, guy from India. I keep on saying guy, but really I'm not sure if they're all guys. I'm pretty sure, like, this is a woman actually here from Iran. But they just a huge diverse panel of people talking about diverse subjects online in a free online game conference. So that's cool. I'm anticipating that in June. So I guess I'm anticipating this as well as not GDC, because unfortunately I will not be at GDC itself this year. This will be the first year in a long time that I'll be missing GDC because of prior work commitments. Darn.
I'm sorry to hear that, but as they say, duty calls, and you're working on some game projects right now, so I know that maybe you'll be able to share your knowledge about all that stuff next year at GDC 2020.
2020, maybe. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Once things are finished and I can actually talk about things. It's sucks being secretive about stuff. I'm not a big fan of being secretive. Part of it is because I can't keep secrets for the life of me. And part of it is because, when you're working on cool stuff, you want to talk about it. And, that's something that's actually really interesting. The game industry has changed so much in the last decade, from a world of secrecy to one of openness. And, hey, this is how we do things. I mean, you saw it in the indie space, but now you're also seeing it with large companies. And, oh, hey, Nintendo wants to be open about stuff. That's something that happened while we were away. This whole thing of, here is a big company like Nintendo admitting that they are restarting development with a new development team on Metroid.
Wow.
I mean, like, who would have thought that this would have happened in this universe? This is not something that typically happens in the games industry. And yet here, hey, Nintendo's talking about working with retro studios again. Hey, that's cool. That's surprising. This is the new world order for the game industry.
Yeah, and that gives a shining light, a breath of fresh air, if you will. We saw Reggie Fils-Aimé step down and Doug Bowser step up. And Nintendo. So we have that. We have a new leader in the Sony area too. His name escapes me, but I know that Sean Layden represents the US portion of the company. I don't believe he's there anymore, and the new guy has stepped in. So yeah, we get, like you said, a new world order in the sense of gaming industry and stuff. And I'm hoping that it's for the best forward. Things that old practices that were probably hurtful, are going to benefit more from the game development standpoint and the players themselves, and it'd be a win-win on all spectrums. Yeah,
definitely. People are learning so much about stuff from what's going on publicly. I mean, they're going to be learning a whole lot next month because of GDC. That's always a great venue for learning and discussion. GDC is really great because they have all those videos on the vault. And
Yes.
it seems like more than, there is a paywall on some videos on the vault, but there's also a whole bunch of really cool free videos on the vault too. So maybe
Yes.
that's what I'm going to do while GDC is happening, just checking out some cool stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually what I usually do. I usually wait about a month or two. I'm still on the high after I go there and I come down, and when I start to come down, by that time I'm E3, so I'm ramping back into that. And then when E3 is done, I'm not at Tokyo Game Show and I'm not at Gamescom, which is about, August, September between the two shows. And I think that's around the time I start to revitalize my energy with those videos. And my God, there are a lot of free videos up there. I mean, it goes back to like 96, I think. That is insane. And me, big 90s fan, nostalgia guy over here. I am in love. I am completely enamored. It is great. And actually, recently, for the past month or so, I've been pushing this hashtag called not GDC 20. I've been pushing the hashtag called Countdown to GDC 2019. And what I've been doing is I've been watching some of these old talks and videos that have been on YouTube. These great things from, how to make your indie game stand out on this budget, to why Dark Souls is the IKEA of games, which is something I actually posted today. And just trying to get people hyped for, the countdown to GDC 2019, and hopefully that people would share their favorite talks that they've seen or whatnot. Maybe if they were eating lunch with somebody or in another talk or sleeping or whatever you were possibly doing because you couldn't get to that talk at the time. And that way we can kind of catch up and be refreshed and be energized for, later within 2 weeks of this month that we're going to all be there, except for those who are not going to go, of course. But yeah, just even if you're not there to get caught up on the backlog of all that great knowledge and fun and really, really good top-notch presenters that have excellent information.
Yeah, that is cool. I'm looking at your countdown to GDC 2019 hashtag right now, and that's cool, man. These are some good videos that you're linking to, and I'm gonna check those out along with a bunch of others in this intervening month.
Yeah, it should be great. And let's see, it's always overwhelming, but it's always so much fun, no matter what. Man,
I'm looking at your Twitter and I'm realizing that there's a conference that I missed, or not a conference, but a convention, this SoCal Retro Expo.
Oh,
why
yeah.
didn't I hear about this thing before? Because if I knew that this was a thing, I probably would have went.
I had so many people jealous of me for just not knowing. I actually posted it on my Facebook and said, I'm excited to go to this tomorrow, and I'm going. And then I had a checklist of things I was going to do. I was going to talk to the gaming historian. I was going to see Metal Jesus, and I was going to meet angry video game nerd James Rolfe himself. And I hit every one, and I was about it, and I loved it. And I'm a huge retro game fan, as you know. Most people, if the listeners, you guys know, I love retro games. And so I actually made money at this con, believe it or not. I brought my stack of games that I didn't care about, my Xbox 360s, my refurbished, cleaned up some Dreamcast controllers, some beat up PS2 stuff, and I just traded stuff in. And I think I only spent about $50. And the years before, I brought 100, and I spent the entire 100, and I did not go over that at all. And so yeah, this time I made money. I just every time I got trades, I just got back other things. Got a Rygar, got a Game Boy Pocket for 25 instead of 50 for some trades. I met Metal Jesus with I'm blind as a bat without my glasses. I have horrible, I cannot see in the distance. And I saw Metal Jesus just walking through the hall just casually. And my friend mid-sentence, and I was like, oh, is that Metal Jesus? And he just bolted over there. We took a picture. The line for James Rolfe, he's super nice. We were in line, well, actually with some people from some friends, and one representative from Hyperkin was with me too. And we were only in line, I think, less than 20 minutes to kind of just, say hey, take a photo. And that felt really, really cool. I'm a huge fan of Angry Video Game Nerd. He's been doing it a long time. Like a long time. Like, man, 2008. Want to say that's like a little over a decade. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty nice.
He's been angry for a long time.
Yeah, he's been angry. He's been spinning out though. They had an arcade there, a full functional arcade, all free. They had open like console playing that you wanted to do. I mean, like mostly everybody was nice and it was cool. And there was a really good burger place across the street. I mean, it wasn't, parking was a little bit of a problem, but most people parked in the garages that are around there. But man, a lot of space. They had a lot of space, and it was pretty darn smooth. I have to admit, everything ran pretty smoothly, and I was very impressed. And the tickets were only $20, $40 for 2 days. Panels.
All right, I got to do this. I got to put this on my calendar for next year.
You do, because guess what? The dates are already up.
Okay.
They're already up for next year, I think. So we'll probably put in the show notes, you know, if people who are interested. I'll definitely link it to you so that you want to know. But it is in March of next year. I do know that. I just don't want to misspeak about the dates. But yeah, on my Facebook itself, it says interested, and I move from interested to going because I know that I'm going to go. And I think it's 4 days this year instead of 2. So that's going to be really interesting.
All right. I got to do this then. I got to do it. Man. Well, I mean, I guess I'll try to relive the life that I could have had by looking at your pictures. I see your signed badge and all sorts of fun stuff.
Yes, the Angry Video Game Nerd. He signed it. I had no other game I had a lot of games online, but I was like, just sign the badge.
Oh, wait, so, I'm seeing it. It's March 27th.
Yes. I was going to say that it was the date, but yes.
March 27th. There we go.
So you're going? Maybe we can go together.
Oh, okay. Let's do it.
All right.
All right.
It's in Pasadena again, so it was wonderful. That might be a little far for you. I'm not sure.
You know, I'll drive. I'll drive to cool retro gaming stuff.
Yes.
Let's see. We have a few minutes left. Is there anything else we should talk about? Oh, wait a minute. What games are you playing right now?
I'll keep it brief, but I'm playing 7 different games right now.
Jeez.
Because, and I'll tell you why. I'm not going to name all 7, but I'm not. I'm trying to scratch an itch, and it's not getting scratched. But also because I'm deep in development with, you know, working on sound design and music for the project that I'm on, it's helping me give a broader spectrum in terms of how different designs are working and where I can apply it. So when I'm playing these different games, I'm coming back to the project with different ideas for pipelines and workflows that go beyond a little bit of audio, and it's adding a little bit more to the value of the game that I'm working on itself.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
What about you? What are you
playing? Not too much. I have played a bit of Tetris 99 though.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. There's a
big
rave craze going on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of battle royale games a la Fortnite and Apex Legends and all that stuff, but Tetris 99 is a wacky Tetris battle royale game, and it's kind of fun. I've played a bit. I like it because it's Tetris. You know, it's no Tetris Effect. I'll go ahead and say that.
Yeah,
Effect is amazing, and I still play that because I just love how it feels and how it sounds, and I don't mind playing some of those single-player modes in Tetris Effect. They're great, but if you really want to be competitive, okay, Tetris 99 is kind of fun.
Okay. I'll have to, it seems to me like between Tetris Effect and Tetris 99, like it's a clone of Luminous Plus.
Well, let's see. Tetris Effect, I mean, Luminous doesn't achieve what Tetris Effect does. Okay. It really doesn't. Like Tetris Effect, for me, does some things with visuals and audio that are just mind-blowing. just gorgeous. And the fact that it does these things with consistency while exploring lots of different musical genres. You know, it will do acoustic stuff. It will do electronic stuff. It will do Goa trance stuff. It will do like high NRG stuff. It will do all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
It sounds amazing. And Luminous is great. You know, Luminous is nice. It feels good. It plays well. There's really good audio visual interaction happening there. But
Absolutely.
Tetris Effect was honestly, that was the game of the year for me last year, and it's still just resonates with me. Tetris 99 is a fun competitive game. Tetris Effect is I mean, I know some people that played it at my place and they put on the VR headset and it's like they have a near religious experience in there.
I gotta play this now.
You gotta
he said he was feeling the Holy Ghost when he was playing the game. Okay, that's grand. I gotta try it.
So yeah, Tetris, it's the game that keeps on giving. I cannot believe it's been 30 plus years for Tetris.
Yeah, 1989, I think, is when it was debuted with the Game Boy.
With Game Boy, yeah. I mean, but you know, it was made in Russia in like 84, 85, something like that. Yeah. Crazy. 30 plus years.
Keeping it strong.
Yeah. All right. Wow. It's been an hour. This has been a proper game audio hour. The first one of 2019. So that's cool. Let's try to keep the momentum going. Maybe we'll figure out another time, another date. You know, one of the things that we're trying to do with the game audio hour is figure out what would be best in terms of time for not just you guys, but also for all of us with our crazy schedules.
Absolutely.
You know, we've got a lot of people in different places that really want to be part of the program here. I mean, so we'll be experimenting a bit. You might see some wacky notices from us that might be a little bit unexpected because they'll happen at, hey, maybe it's 3 a.m. next time. Maybe it's 3 p.m. Who knows? We'll figure it out where we're sort of working this thing out as we go on with the new year. But it's cool to see some guys in the chat hanging out and just having fun and enjoying. It seems like they're enjoying the game audio hour as per usual. That's cool.
Hey.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining as always. We miss you. That's something we must say as well. Like, we do miss you. We miss you, chatties. We miss our audience and stuff like that. And don't think for a second that we don't, because we do. Yeah.
We're going to keep on working and we're going to try to keep on making it happen for you guys. So keep an eye out on the usual channels. We'll be announcing stuff on Twitter, on Facebook. We'll tell you when the next episode is going to be. It probably won't be Monday next week because that's a little bit too soon, but we will let you know and it will be fun. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys watching and in the chat and talking about more game audio stuff next time.
Yeah.
So that's a wrap. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.